Yeah, he's in here.
Housing cycles are influenced by many factors. Real estate markets and real estate finance are interrelated. Real estate can be helped or hurt by interest rates. Interest rates depend on supply and demand for money. Loan activity depends on availability of money. Property values depend on the health of the economy. We'll look at the four broad forces influencing real estate cycles, then focus on government influences on real estate finance through fiscal policy, monetary policy, government programs, and regulations. There are several laws, both federal and state, that regulate various aspects of the real estate financing process. These include laws prohibiting discrimination and requiring certain financial disclosures in real estate transactions. You must be knowledgeable about these laws for your real estate practice and for the state licensing exam.
Actually, I probably need my glasses. I'm only human after all, don't put your blame on me. Don't put the blame on me.
Don't ask my opinion, don't ask me to
Lie.
lie. Then beg for forgiveness
For making you cry. For making you cry. I'm only human after all. I'm only human after all. Don't put your blame on me. Don't put your blame on me. Oh, some people got the real problem.
As a realtor, it's very important that you understand the financing part of purchasing a home. One of the things I found as a mortgage loan officer over the years that complicated a lot of transactions was when we would interact with the realtor and the realtors interacted with the borrower. The realtor was not on the same page with reality in the mortgage lending.
Make mistakes.
They would tell the borrower, well, I don't understand why you need this document or that document, why you need to prove, your income, something of that nature. Which, as a loan originator, we certainly want to close loans as quickly as possible, but we also have to follow the rules and the lending guidelines that the lenders demand. So when we're saying that an underwriter is requesting proof of where your funds came from for down payment, or proving your income and that sort of thing, it's not just an irritation that I'm trying to cause for the borrower. I actually need that in order to facilitate the loan process. So the better educated you are as a realtor as to how this process works, the better the whole thing, the whole transaction.
Hi, Knock.
So
Thank
if you're
you.
saying to the borrower the same types
As you can
of
probably
things that the
hear,
mortgage
I'm
loan
listening to my real
originator
estate
is
stuff
saying,
and
it helps
studying,
to
so I
reassure
figured
the
I'd do
borrower
just
that this is
chatting, so if
normal
anybody
and
wants to
it'll
hang
help
out and
the
talk.
whole transaction go a lot smoother. So when you have a better understanding, it helps
Kind of
everybody
multitasking so I can
involved. As a
focus better,
realtor,
so
it's
listening to
also
music so I don't
very
get bored
important that you're
and
aware
fall asleep on my
of what
keyboard.
kind of lending products are available to your home buyers. It's good to know that if you're putting together a contract and you have a buyer that is letting you know that they have limited amounts of money for down payment, it's good to know that there are USDA 100% financing loan products that might qualify for this particular property.
Hi, Emily.
For that borrower.
How are you?
Or that FHA only requires 3.5% down, and that 3.5% can be a gift from a family member or from a nonprofit agency or through some sort of a government home buyer assistance program. It's very important that you actually understand all of those types of products and know what's available and what's not available so that you can better inform your home buyers when you're putting together a contract.
Yeah, they're talking about the first-time home buyer credit, where you only have to put 3% down, but if you only put 3% down, your payment's going to be a bitch. You want to put at least 10 to 20% down. 20% is better because you have a higher chance of getting the loan and you will have a lower payment. You better have that bedroom clean, Wyatt. That's fine. I can't hear nothing through these. I'm about as deaf as your dad with these things on. Plus, I have music played in my ears, plus I'm listening to real estate videos to do my course because I need to get this shit done. Dark necessities are part of my design. Dark necessities are part of my design. Up, up, up. Do you want to say hi to Emily? Come here. Come here, baby. No, you don't want to say hi? Okay. Do you want apple? Mommy give you a little piece of apple. Here, I'm gonna give you a little piece. I gotta bite the tip off for you. Here, go. You gonna eat it this time, or you just gonna lay it down? Good boy. He's very picky about his apples. If they're too big for his little mouth, he won't eat them. Then sometimes he'll just lay it down and want to keep it for forever. And I'm like, no, I'm not leaving apples laying around to collect bugs. Dark necessities are part of my design.
Now let's talk a little bit about housing cycles. You know, you're going to...
See, mine doesn't have a wireless card in it. I didn't think about it when ordering it, so I didn't put one in it. And neither does Honey's, I don't think. I know I could always probably add one later, but I prefer wired. So I literally have like a fucking 80-foot Ethernet cord ran across my house, because wired is so much more reliable. I tried the thing where you plug it into your electricity and then plug it into electricity somewhere else, and then it runs it through your electricity. But being in a mobile home, it doesn't work very well. I still get usable internet, like 150 over 40, but not the gig that we have.
It seems like there's not a lot of homes on the market. The economy's doing well. People are making money. When home buyers are putting their, if there's not very many homes on the market, home buyers will go and put in offers on homes that are for sale, and they pretty much have to pay the asking price because there aren't as many homes on the market. I know that in the area that I work in, down in the Cincinnati area, Westchester, Liberty Township area, there's been a lot of growth. The economy is very well, doing very well, and we find that homes that are in nice neighborhoods in Liberty Township in Westchester, Ohio, as soon as they go on the market right now, they're getting offers within 4 to 6 hours, and in many cases even multiple offers. So that would be your typical seller's market situation.
What were your biopsy results? I didn't see that part at first.
That can actually affect real estate in your area. There are some physical things like, you know, the location where, you know, where's all the building going on in your area. If they're building a brand new, really nice shopping center or something of that nature, like in the area that I live, they just built a very large, almost $500 million project that brought in all kinds of shops and restaurants and movie theaters and hotels and a lot of other things. When you're around an area like that, you may find that, you know, those types of activities actually bring up values in the real estate market that you're in.
It might just be an extreme case of GERD,
an area where perhaps
to where you're having way too much acid come up in your throat, which is making it burn every time you try to eat.
Worked at that factory, you'll find that will probably have a negative adverse effect.
I know when I eat certain things like apples or pineapple or anything citrusy at all, or anything with a lot of vinegar in it, I'll puke in my throat. Acid will come up,
when the Federal Reserve
and then I have issues.
To raise and lower interest rates, or when things are happening in the
my
economy
only song.
that perhaps affects interest rates in the bond market, which you know, raises and lowers the cost of mortgage rates. Those sorts of things will also have an effect on real estate.
I'd recommend a
in your neighborhood too.
really high-powered acid reflux pill.
Take your time. Don't live too fast. Troubles will come and they will pass. You'll find a warm arm and you'll find love. And don't forget that there is a someone up above. And be a simple kind of man. Be something you love.
The one I'm on, I think it's fucking Prilosec. Yeah, it's Prilosec, but it's the Prescription version. I take it twice a day.
Get you lost from the rich man's gold. All that you need now is in your soul. And you can do this, oh baby, if you try. All that I want from you, my son, is to be satisfied and be a simple kind of man. Be something you love and understand. Baby,
When you get done, have your dad check it.
kind of man.
What?
Won't you do this for me, son, if you can?
That's just a picture. It's a picture from World of Warcraft.
You'll find yourself.
I'm studying while talking to people.
And nothing else. And you can do this, oh baby, if you try. All that I want from you, my son, is to be satisfied and be a simple kind of man. Won't you do this for me, son, if you can? So baby, be a simple man. Oh, won't you do this for me, son, if you can?
I've never had any issues with this, Emily, so I recommend this. I'm pretty sure this is the one for my acid reflux. The prescription name for it is OME PRAZOLE. It's Prilosec. I'm on 40 milligrams twice a day, and I have not puked in my mouth in a long time. No acid reflux whatsoever, no burning throat. The only issue I'm still having, which I actually need to call about, I forgot about it, is that every time I eat something, it gets stuck in the back of my throat. Randomly. Pardon me. And I'll start to choke on it a little bit. I have to, like, cough it up. It's worked pretty good for me, but I had the sleeve. I didn't have the bypass, so I don't know if the bypass causes things to where Prilosec won't work. I'm gonna link you something, Emily. Read this. It's the first thing that kind of popped up when I looked it up. Talking about sometimes after bypass, something in your stomach shortens and they need to lengthen it back. It says rock slim. The rock slim can be anatomically short, requiring a lengthening procedure to fix the problem. It can also be functionally short, in which case the treatment depends on the particular patient situation. Most common case of functionally short rock slim is the presence of a hiatal hernia, when the gastric pouch herniates into the negative pressure system of the thoracic cavity above the diaphragm. Reflux occurs. They probably checked for a lot of this shit, so it's at least worth looking into. It's a good idea to look into it.
One of the other entities that can affect real estate and the economy is the Federal Reserve. And a lot of people have a lot of confusion about what goes on at the Fed and how much they have an effect on the economy and on real estate in general. In general, the Federal Reserve does not exactly affect 30-year fixed mortgage rates directly. Some of their actions might actually, have an effect long term and that sort of thing. But typically, the bond market, Fannie Mae bonds and treasuries and things of that nature, have more of an effect on what 30-year and 15-year fixed mortgage rates do to the real estate market. But the Fed does do a lot of different things. When things are running hot and they think inflation is really increasing, one of their functions is they might raise their short-term interest rates, which is basically the rates that they charge banks to borrow money from them for short-term loans on overnight loans and that sort of thing. Now, what that might do when they raise those, what their goal is to kind of slow things down by making borrowing a little bit more expensive. Now, one of the loan products that will be affected directly by the Fed's actions are things like adjustable rate mortgages that are based on things like the prime rate. Typically, banks will actually, adjust their prime lending rate based on the federal funds rate, Fed funds rate. And when they do raise the federal funds rate, that will affect things like taking credit cards and
Thank you,
lines of
Lost.
credit on people's houses and that sort of thing. Some of the other things that the Federal Reserve might do to affect
How
the
are you?
economy in the real estate market is they have something called moral suasion.
Wake
which
you up?
see
Okay.
In your text, and I thought that one was that particular tool was quite curious because moral suasion is basically just saying certain things that make people feel a certain way about the economy. If they want to slow things down, perhaps they'll start to use language that says that certain things are bad, or when they want to speed things up.
You work in the
make
hospital,
everyone
don't you,
feel that
Lost? If I
everything is
remember
good and
correctly.
get them spending money, they may start to paint a more rosy picture.
Doing
Which I
like
think
tech
is
support
kind of
and
an
stuff,
interesting,
working on computers.
tactic that is used on the population.
Remember you were telling me that like you have to do a bunch of bullshit on the computers. Oh, sorry, baby. Sorry, Papa Up. I'm sorry. Come here, baby. It's okay. Who you barking at, baby? He thinks he's a big dog. He's like this big, baby. He's like, whoa, 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 whoa. He thinks people are scared of him. I'm like, baby, you're not even to their kneecaps. They're not scared of you. Sorry, but they're not. Me. Well, come say hi, Papa Up. Come here. Come to Mama. No? Okay. He just sit there in his bed going, woof. Woof. Like, whoever's trying to come in here, woof. It's kind of cute. Lost, are you excited for the Overlord? I'm rewatching just so I can remember what the hell happened. Hey, oh, listen what I say, oh. Listen what I say, oh. I wish, Lost. I wish that was my work day. I don't have a job right now. I went to start the casino job, but my knees cannot handle standing for that long because I'm currently in physical therapy for my knees. So I'm like, nope. Gotta find something else. I'm currently working on my real estate license to see if maybe that can be an avenue where I can make some monies. I mean, I liked, I've been killing slimes for 300 years. I think it's super cute and funny. And then the Backyard Boonies one, or Last Dungeon Boonies, was pretty good but weird. And then what was the other two that Honey's been watching? One's something about bullying me senpai. It's weird but good. And then there's another one, the rom-com where best friends can't lose. That's pretty good. And then another one where this guy takes in a teenager who's trying to sell herself on the street corner and is trying to turn her life around. I don't remember the name of that one.
This is probably easier. Hello.
Hello! I need to work with you.
Yeah, I haven't finished the what's it called? The one you just said, the Boonies one.
Yeah, I'm a couple episodes behind because it's on fucking Funimation. And I don't have a Funimation account anymore, so I'm just like watching it as they like come up, but then I've missed a few.
Yeah, I don't know if I'll probably finish it, but I didn't think it was that good. It would have been good if he wasn't dumb.
Yeah, he kind of thick.
Yeah. And the slime one, it wasn't what I expected, but it's fine.
I knew what it was going to be like because I bought the light novel.
Yeah. And I still haven't caught up to Spider. I'm just waiting till it finishes, I guess, at this point.
I'm caught up currently. Some major shit. Major shit.
What else is there? The only one I really like currently is the Saint one, if you know about that one.
Saint one?
Yeah, the Saint's magical power is omnipotent. Omnipotent?
I don't know of that one.
Oh, I think you would actually like it.
Oh.
It's one of those in another world things.
I like the In the Other World ones.
And it's very cute and pretty good.
Need to fix my timers. They're going off weirdly.
But the next season, the summer season of anime, is gonna be good.
Why?
Everything's starting back up. Like everything.
I know.
Like the Shield Hero starting.
Really?
I think.
What about Goblin Slayer?
I think Goblin Slayer is also starting up. The other slime thing is starting back up. The what's that? The show. You know, one with the little boy and the red-haired girl. He like he reborns into a little child and then he grows up with like insane magical powers.
Trying to think.
Oh, what's that one called?
It's not fucking Wise Man's Grandson. Are you talking about?
No. It's that new one that they plan to have like a really, really long series about.
I know there's another one that involves slimes, and the guy's reborn as like a little boy, and he like farms slimes, and they're like his minions.
Oh yeah, that one is pretty good as well. I think that's getting a season 2, but I don't think it's now.
I'm trying to think of which one you're talking about. Oh, are you talking about
Oh, here it is.
what's the goddamn name?
Exactly. There's a Japanese name, but that doesn't really... Jobless.
Yes, Jobless Reincarnation.
Yeah. That one's starting back up in July. But yeah, there's Slime, Magical High School. What was the other one? Oh yeah, I finished Log Horizon.
I'm a couple episodes behind.
I'm just more confused. I was so lost that entire season.
There are several ways that the
Emily,
government
he
might
seems to be
influence housing
okay,
cycles
but he's
also.
having a hard day, I
One of
think.
the areas is taxation. Many times the government will give certain tax incentives for.
I just realized my hair is not cooperating, so we're gonna put it up.
To buy homes, they give tax breaks and allow you to write off.
Does hair ever cooperate?
Things of that nature. to help encourage home ownership. Some of the other things that the government might do is they also enact laws, perhaps on discrimination and things of
poking
that
out
nature, or
everywhere.
even environmental laws that may affect housing and real estate cycles also. When they set certain environmental laws where that you can and can't build in certain areas, that obviously can affect.
As you can see, I am
many
sunburnt
areas.
like a motherfucker,
As
but
far as
it's healing pretty good.
anti-discrimination laws, those are very good
Oh,
in,
yeah?
in the fact that
I was
you know,
out at the
prevents,
amusement park with the
some of
kids for like 8
abuses that
fucking
happened,
hours, and I got
many
burned
decades
so fucking
ago,
horribly I got sick from
where
it.
before these laws were enacted,
Damn.
like the Equal Credit Opportunity Act.
We were only supposed to be
where
there for like
many
2 hours,
times
but it took us an
people
hour
in
to
the
find a
real estate
parking
industry,
spot,
whether
and I
it
didn't
be
even include that in the
realtors or
hours that we were there.
that would discriminate
And then we were
against
stuck
people based
in
on
one
religion,
ride for over 3 hours.
sex, things of that nature.
Yeah, my one kid wanted to go on the ride, so we were waiting outside while he was in there. It said maybe an hour and wait. We're still like, okay, an hour, not that bad. Next thing I know, it's 2 hours. My kid's still not out. I'm like, what the fuck? So I go up and ask them. I'm like, you know, where's my kid? They're like, are you sure he's still in there? It's only an hour, maybe an hour and a half wait time. I'm like, I've been here for like 2 hours. He's still not out. So I wait another hour. Somebody comes out, and they're like, I've been in there for like 3 hours. I'm like, oh my god. So 3.5 hours, my kid finally comes out, and I'm like, what the fuck?
Helped tremendously in cutting down on a lot of the abuses
That sounds
happened,
horrible.
many decades ago. Let's talk a
It
little
was
bit
horrible.
more about the Equal Credit Opportunity Act.
The whole thing sounded
one of
horrible
the,
'cause
one of the many
there's
things
people
that
there.
the Equal
Who
Credit
likes people?
Opportunity Act
There was a
prevents
metric
are in the
fuck ton
in
of
the
people.
real estate and the mortgage lending world is discrimination against someone.
All of which refusing to wear
you know,
masks.
based on their ethnicity
Nice.
or their religion or anything of that nature. So if someone's coming in and to talk to you as a realtor and they say they want to purchase a home and you say, well, you don't really look like you, perhaps a mortgage loan officer back
Which one, Emily?
many years ago. You
I got
have
a bunch
the
of
one
them.
bigoted banker in
There's
town
that one with
that
Honey's
came
initials,
in
and then
said
my
that you
cat's
wanted a
name right there.
mortgage,
Which actually I need to add to
purchase a
that.
home, and they didn't like,
I need to put my other 2
the way
cats'
you
names right
looked
there.
or the family that you came
'Cause they passed
from or
away.
something of that nature. They would perhaps
And
not
there's
take an application
that one.
and discriminate against you.
Which
and
is
not
Harley
allow you
Quinn with
to,
roses on a playing
to apply
card.
for a mortgage loan. That
And
is
there's
absolutely
the matching one with
illegal.
Joker with
Under the
roses on a
Equal
playing
Credit
card.
Opportunity Act, you cannot discourage
Then there's
someone
the ferry.
in any way from applying for a loan, even if a loan
And then I
officer
got like
may know in
one on
general
each
that
thigh
the
from
information that the
panties
person is
to
giving them,
knee.
may not qualify them. They cannot discourage them from
And then
actually
one on
applying
each
for the loan
calf.
application.
And
The
then
loan
one down my
officer must
spine,
go
and then
ahead
one right
take
here
that
on my chest.
application and submit it to their underwriting
That
department,
one's, yeah, right there.
regardless of whether they think it's going to be approved or not. So that is one of the great benefits that we've
Almost
seen
dropped my
from the
coaster.
Equal Credit Opportunity Act. That
Oh,
people,
well, thank you.
Are no longer
I want to get more, but
discriminated
tattoos are
against
so
just
expensive. I'm
because
like, gotta
of
resist that shit.
preconceived notions or perhaps bigoted, folks in the real estate industry or lending industry.
So I haven't got one in a few years. But I definitely want to add my other cats' names. I got a big one-on-one on my back. It's dragon wings. It starts like up towards the shoulders, goes down, kind of comes out of the skin a little bit, goes back in, then comes out as a tail that goes down my butt and then part of my leg. I'll show you it. I'll link it in Discord. It would go technically over the one that's on my spine, but I would just have them put it around it. Make it look like it's all supposed to be there. Whoa.
Are you ready for in 2 weeks, the 28th?
What happens on the 28th?
Lucifer.
Oh, there's more Lucifer? I thought they canceled it.
I know there's 2 more seasons.
Yes. I loves Lucifer. There you go, Emily. That. I want that. Oh, 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 I'm radioactive. Last time I had it priced, which was a few years ago, they told me $1,500. And that it would take several sessions, probably like 3, depending on how much pain I could take. I'm like, I can take at least 6 hours of tattooing, but then after that it starts to get a little much.
Oh yeah, they're doing the rest of season 5, which is 7 episodes, and then there's gonna be 10 next year or later this year.
Am I behind on Lucifer?
That's the last thing you saw.
That's a good question. Let me look. I want to see if I'm behind or not. The fuck was that? What the fuck were you? Juniper's Legacy, huh? Where's Lucifer?
Oh, look at you, fitting into Jack.
Hey, you quit playing shit. Stop it. Just gonna fucking look it up. It's easier. Are you in my bedroom, Wyatt? Wyatt Austin? Okay. Let me look.
I remember when I lost my mind. There was something so pleasant about that place. Even your emotions have an echo in so much space.
Yeah, I'm a season behind.
What?
Yeah, the last thing I saw was when the demons were trying to fuck everything up and Lucifer had to go back to hell.
Oh yeah, you're missing out.
Oh shit, I got shit to watch then. That's actually a good thing.
Yeah. 8 hours.
Nice. I will be watching some shit later. That make me crazy. That make me crazy. Possibly. The roses on my arms, Emily, they're kind of peachy colored because I like peach colored roses, kind of like where it's orange and red at the same time. Sometimes pink and red too. I like multicolored roses. Let's just say that. The ones I ordered in, I'm gonna try to grow, but my green thumb is a little hit and miss. They're purple and black and then red and black because they're like genetically like hybrid bred roses. And then I have rainbow chrysanthemums. I've got a little planter pot with like 72 little pots in it, and I'm gonna start trying to grow shit. I germinated the seeds like I'm supposed to in the freezer, and now I'm gonna try to grow them, but knowing my luck, everything's gonna die because I kill everything. I can't keep fish because they all fucking die mysterious deaths. I always make sure like the water's perfect, everything, and then the fish start eating each other or they just fucking die, and I'm like, okay, apparently I can't have fish.
Well, that's the last thing that happened in Lucifer. See.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to watch like the rest of it now and catch up. That way we can discuss.
Oh, only 8 episodes.
If only Lucifer were real. He's so hot. Ay. So hot. You ever seen Lucifer, Emily?
There's also a new season of Good Witch.
Oh, I don't know where I'm at on that one, to be honest with you. I know I've seen the movies, and I've seen part of the series. You need to watch Lucifer, Emily. It is so fucking good, and he's so goddamn hot. I think you have showed me the idea of it, Emily, because you mentioned it, I think, shortly after we met, and I think you might have showed me a picture, maybe. Because I remember something like that vaguely. My memory's not been so great the last 8 months. It's been kind of hit or miss, but that's why my dot reminds me of so many things. It's reminding me to give the kids medicine. It's reminding me to give Honey medicine. It's reminding me to give me medicine. I'm like, meh. Yeah, I know. Fuck. Fuck. See, I second guessed myself and missed my little question.
What are you doing exactly?
Real estate stuff. I'm doing one of the little
Oh,
modules for it. There's 4 modules in this class, 4 modules in the next class. This module has 183 slides. I am at 65. For so many
that's a lot of slides.
slides, it asks you some questions. You got to answer them to get to the next slide. And then at the main end, it's going to have a quiz. And then after all 4 modules, I have a bigger quiz that I have to do to pass the class. There. Got that one right. Me. Doing this, then tonight there's supposed to be a basically real estate employers like little expo thing that I'm gonna go virtually for, to where I may be able to actually find a broker to sponsor me, because you have to have a broker sponsor you before you can take the test to get your real estate license.
Oh,
So until I find one to sponsor me, it doesn't matter how many classes I pass or how well I fucking study, I can't take the damn test. And I have plans. Basically, once I get going and actually start getting some money saved up, I want to buy a little piece of land. So I want to figure out which of the local townships around me allows modular homes, because I found container homes that are really fucking nice and they are drastically cheaper than a traditional home. Like for 200K-ish, I can get a home that would normally in a traditional home be like 400K.
oh,
So I plan on saving up after getting the piece of land and slowly paying it off and getting said container home built on that land. But I have to make sure that the piece of land is zoned to allow that and that they're not going to fight me on it, and that it has enough space to allow the container home and what else I want to do. I found a company that does the container homes that seems real nice, but I want to wait and like read reviews and shit on them first. Because so far I've had some issues finding reviews on them, so I'm kind of keeping an eye on it.
see,
Basically, I'm very picky, and what I want in a home would cost me an arm and a leg. I want wood floors or something that looks like wood but is not vinyl, because vinyl can fuck off. It's horrible. So either wood or wood composite. And then I want a nice kitchen with a big old island, but not a janky ass looking island. And I want a pantry. Unless the kitchen has enough storage space to where I do not need said pantry, then it's fine. At least 2 bathrooms, one of which needs to have a big soaker tub and a separate shower. And then probably 2 to 3 bedrooms, so that way I can have a streaming room that is not a master closet like I am currently in. And I want a pool with a bird cage around it, and it needs to be heated.
sounds pretty nice.
Yes, but it's going to cost me an arm and a leg. So I needs to figure out ways to make monies, and this is one of the ways I'm trying. You might see me itching all the time because my sunburn is trying to peel and I can't help it. Like, Hey, Wyatt! Wyatt! Mirror! Yeah, that's the best way to go about it, Emily, if you can't afford the homes that you have been looking at, or they're all just fucking super fucking expensive. Is get the piece of land, then save up, then get the loan for the house, because once you have the land, it's easier to get the loan for the house, because essentially you're putting a lien on your own land. So if you don't pay for said house, they take your land too. Hand me my burn stuff. I know. It's supposed to disappear. Yes. Burn stuff. Hand it here. It's on my bedside table. Please and thank you. Yeah, so essentially I'm just kind of going slowly through the slides, doing tests and fucking trying not to be bored while doing it. So I figured talk to people while I'm doing it. This is the burn stuff. It's called Maui Island Secret Burn to Brown Formula. It's got aloe, Barbadonisis leaf, menthol, tea tree oil, and green tea. I fell asleep in the sun one year. It was like 2005. No, gotta think back a little bit more. 2006. It was before I went off to college. And I fell asleep out in the backyard and woke up, and my back looked like that chick from The Craft, where she's got like those fucking horrible, horrible burns that like just mysteriously disappear. It looked like somebody literally taken a lighter in my flesh and just fucking seared it. So that was way worse than right now. My mom had a aloe plant, so she literally just chopped the leaves off, split them in half, and just smoothed it down my back. Helped a lot, but it was fucking horribly painful. The worst part right now is my shoulders, because they are the highest point on me. Fucking super surprised that my face didn't burn horribly. It burned a little bit, but not horribly. I may or may not have been a salty bitch. So after we left, my little Google shit popped up like, hey, your reviews are doing super good. Somebody wants you to review this. I'm like, oh, really? So I made sure to put on my review how 5 or 6 security guys passed me when my kid was injured at the park. And I asked them for a Band-Aid, and they pointed me to the front of the park. Literally, I had to walk all the way across the park with my injured kid whose leg was injured to get him a goddamn Band-Aid and get his leg cleaned up. And then on our way back, we pass a goddamn first aid cart that's going and picking people up and bringing them Band-Aids. I'm like, really? Really, security guys? You lazy sons of bitches? Then later on, I cut my leg. Don't know how. Just happened. Looked down. I was like, oh, blood. So I asked a security lady near me. I'm like, do you happen to have a Band-Aid? And she's like, oh, let me call the cart for you. And I'm like, why didn't this happen earlier? Just like, yeah, yes. Random security lady that I cannot remember your name who was outside Fest House on May 8th at about 7 p.m. You deserve a raise, and all of your coworkers are shit. You were the only one doing your job. They need to recognize you. She needs a raise. Wish I could remember her name. I would have fucking called her out straight by her name to make sure that she fucking gets some recognition. Oh, I know you do. It'd be nice for everybody to get to meet. Ow, fuck. That shoulder's worse. Ow, 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 ow. See, the hard part here is that I can't reach most of my shit to fucking put it on myself because my back is burned too. If I were just double jointed everywhere but my hands. Double jointed in all my fingers, but not in my arms. He is in the living room playing something or doing something or watching something. Something.
Double jointed fingers are scary.
They are. Look at this.
Yeah, I can do the same. It's
I used
awful
to
when
like
it locks
make
up
a little
though.
dinosaur, and I would scare my sister with it when I was younger. I'd like have it walk like a little dinosaur. It'd be like this, and then used to do it to my nieces and nephews too. They're like, ah! Also used to sing them Sailor Moon as babies, and that would get them to go to sleep.
Hmm.
Turning all my little nieces and nephews into little weeboos. I actually really did, because they all like anime, they all like video games. Oh, knocking my headset off. Almost got it. Oh, no, skin. Ew. It's the grossest feeling ever when skin starts to come off of a sunburn. I'm like, "Ugh." Gross. Eh. I always hated my voice, Emily. Ever since I was little. Ew. Because I had little boys making fun of me, telling me I sounded like a boy. Hi, Pupple Up. What you doing, baby? Say, duh, Mama, I'm doing puppy things. Do you want to come, Mama? Come here. Come here, boy. Come here. Come on, Mommy's little dumpling. Come to Mama. Come here. Where'd you go? Pupple Up. Come here. Come here, you silly puppy. Don't you knock my green screen over. Come here. Oh, if Mommy can pick you up. Ugh. Lost. Look at the baby.
Wow. It's a
He's a Dutch Hound.
wiener dog?
Yes, Wiener Dog. That's also one of their names. His name is Tasselhoff, after the Kinder from Dragonlance. Oh, you look tired, baby. You're tired, baby. Yeah. You played hard today, huh? Oh, thank you. That's so sweet of you. Yeah. Poor little sausage is tired. He is super handsome. His breath smells like poopy, though. I think he has been eating stuff that he shouldn't. Hey, Wyatt! Wyatt! Check and see if Taz pooped in the bedroom. I should probably get back to studying. Play with the dog. We have dental bones for him. They have mint in them, and they clean his teeth. Make him stop having stinky puppy breath. He loves his little bones and all his little toys. We got him so many toys. I spoil him rotten. Derek's constantly getting on to me. He's like, quit spoiling the puppy. I'm like, but he's my baby. Yeah, see if he pooped. Yeah, because his breath smells like poopy. Is your tummy upset, baby? No, you're not feeling good. No. You want down? Okay. Say bye, everyone. Say I love you all, and I'm super tired. Here you go, baby. Here, let me put you down. It's okay. Here, sit in your bed. I have his little bed under my desk. See if he's got a dental bone still laying in there and let him have it in his bed. Yeah, there was one on the floor right by my dresser. What's wrong, honey? No fun for you. Why? Why no fun? Oh, he's been occasionally eating stuff he shouldn't, so getting a hold of like the kitty food and stuff. So sometimes it'll make him get a little sick. Gotta stop eating that kitty food. Ha. Nah. No jump scaring me, honey buddy. Mwahaha. Okay. So much information. Let me see why my music's not working. What the fuck is this song? Oh, one of the singers of Papa Roach is in it. Interesting. Yeah, I know what an APR is. What's wrong, baby? Is your bed not comfy? Why do you have a tea packet? What? Lean down, get that tea packet before he eats it.
Is it a British dog?
Dachshunds are German, I think.
Close enough to Britain. He's
Basically.
just having his tea.
He
What's
does
the
like
difference?
tea. When I drink tea, I give him like one drop. Yes, he is a member of Rammstein. Pup. Or as I was calling him the other day, All Pup. And then our cat is one for Suki. No, all for Suki. All for Suki. They're both superheroes, well, super people, and they will fight to the death. Oh, you're trying to test my jump scare notification, honey? Biddies! Thank you, honey.
Oh, it comes out June 9th.
What does?
The new Loki movie.
Is it a movie or is it a series? Because I thought it was a series.
Oh, is it a series?
I think so. I was looking at the preview for it. It said Loki series. And it has the one dude in it. I can never remember his goddamn name.
Oh, it is a series.
He's like a side character and is the one that's basically the one chaperoning Loki. What animations, honey?
Oh, I hope they release them at the same time. No, it's a weekly show.
No, the Biddy thing showed on the stream, honey. What are you talking about? I don't have any special ones for the bits, no.
don't have the animations for them, so you don't. I used like the unicorn biddies, so that see the unicorn biddies go across the screen.
I don't know how to do that. I didn't think there was anything like on there. Let me look. Give me a second. I'll bring it up and see if it gives me any options to mess with it. Okay. Content? No. Community? Maybe. It's not that one. It's not that one. Not that one. Damn sunburn. Okay, bits. I'm not sure where that setting would be. The love runs out, till the love runs out. Yeah, totally not sure where that setting would be. Okay, I'm already in that section. Minimum bits to pick, that's all there. There's no setting for like doing anything with the other stuff. I'm not sure if it could be inside of them. Let me see if this works. No, that wouldn't do it. Don't think. Is it a badge? No, it wouldn't be a badge, right? Okay, that would be an alert. So I would go to my alert box, not my Twitch stuff. Give a love runs out, give a love runs out. And somebody will feel alright, feel alright. Work it out, you'll work it out. Okay, alert box. Bits. Oh, hello, last line. It doesn't really have anything on here for allowing other ones, honey. I take it on the other side. Yeah, I don't know how to do it, honey. See, that's what it's supposed to do when bits are done. It didn't even do that.
I'm getting a call.
This is
Perfect.
a test bit alert.
What's up, Loss? So that should function properly. I'm confused. Make sure my alert box is above everything. Yeah, and it's showing. Get on the other side. Okay. Back to what I was doing. Gotta take it on the other side. Yay! Got my question right. Ah, damn it. Damn it! Don't believe in change. Damn it. Respa. Okay. Respa has to do with closing costs.
Now in your text, you're gonna see a couple of lending laws that will affect your home buyers. And as a realtor, even though you're not the actual person doing the loan,
I
hopefully they'll be working with an originator or a bank or a credit union or savings bank. It's important that you would at least understand that lending process and what your home buyer will be receiving from, what kind of disclosures will be received from those lending institutions by your borrower. And in some cases, your borrower may actually ask for some advice from you or want your opinion as to what certain things mean.
Emily, let me know when you're back.
One of the first documents that they're going to
I wanted to show you
receive
these
when
pills
they
that I've
apply
been
for
taking. They're
a mortgage
really good
loan
for
is
your
their
skin
loan
and hair and
estimate.
nails.
There's going to be an estimate of the cost.
My nails are growing like a bitch.
Of obtaining that mortgage, what type of mortgage it is, and what the interest rate is going to be. And whether or not the rate can change in a certain amount of time, if it's an adjustable rate mortgage or if it's a fixed rate mortgage, 15
Purple
year,
up?
30 year.
You feeling any better, baby?
What type of mortgage loan it is, whether it's a loan, conventional loan, USDA loan, rural development, those sorts of things. All that information will be found on the loan estimate. And there is in your text an actual example of a loan estimate. So I would recommend that as a realtor that you get familiar with at least what information is provided on there, like loan payments and escrow accounts and all those different sections that are on there. And then before closing, 3 days before closing, the borrower is going to receive a closing disclosure. And that closing disclosure is going to look very similar to that loan estimate that they received at the beginning of their process. And that's, in some cases, a document that when the borrower receives that, they may ask for some advice from their realtor as to whether or not the numbers on there are normal, or if they look normal and that sort of thing. So it's a good idea for you to look at that and in your text and kind of become familiar with it and
if you
be able to at least
They're collagen pills. They're called Dr. Emil Nutrition Multi-Collagen Plus. It's got types 1, 2, 3, 5, and 10 for skin, hair, nails, and joint support. Really good for after having had gastric anything, because you have chances of your hair falling out and your skin and nails like not having goodness. This will also help with collagen production, so it helps get rid of the fat.
All of that information is going to be
And then green tea extract.
For the realtor to be at least familiar with the document to help.
Makes you hungry as a motherfucker, though.
Comfortable if in fact they have some questions.
'Cause I'm broken. I need to drink a protein shake. Two, 3, 4, 570 at the moment. Okay, so I'm still good on my calories. Maybe. You need to start eating regardless of whether your throat is burning or not. I recommend avoiding anything with any kind of citrus, any kind of vinegar, any kind of anything that can set off acid reflux. And see if that helps, because that could be a major part of why your throat's burning. Could be even the tiniest thing that would normally not really set off acid reflux is getting you. Have they gave you any pills to coat your stomach? Like to help with acid reflux? Because there's like this pill you crush up and you take it and it coats your stomach. Totally keep emailing them, trying to get them to let me like represent Premier Protein because I drink so much of it, but so far no response. When you stab yourself with a protein shake cap because you dropped it and tried to catch it. Owie. Well, I'm not too short of being at 100 slides, so.
As far as time frames are concerned on purchase contracts and the actual time that it takes to process a mortgage application, as a mortgage loan originator, there have been many cases where I have had a borrower bring me a purchase contract and the closing date is set for 2 weeks from today, you know, and unfortunately, you know, I know the process time, and you know, it's very important that you immediately look at that and let everyone know that that perhaps is an unrealistic expectation for closing, and perhaps immediately try to get some sort of an extension. Most closings these days take anywhere between 30 and 45 days, and certain transactions could even take as long as 60 days in some cases. So it's very important that everyone you know, communicate effectively, both with the realtors should be communicating with the mortgage loan originators, and make sure that based on, you know, what's going on in the market at that particular time, like if we're in a market where there's a lot of mortgage activity where there's a lot of people refinancing, a lot of home buying going on. You might find that mortgage lenders, their whole processing department and their underwriting department is really overloaded and perhaps could have very long turn times. It could take perhaps a final package for final approval. Might take a week before they're even able to touch that file to give you a final approval or a decision. So it's important that everyone is communicating what's going on in the environment for lending at that particular moment in time. And if you're familiar with that particular lender, what their typical turn times are. So, and it's very vital that everyone has a realistic expectation. The days of
Emily, if I show you the glasses case that Honey got me, I don't know if you can see it. Yeah.
Those are pretty much over.
It's a unicorn.
Now it takes a little bit longer. And
Yeah.
I will also
Unicorn.
say that some of the other things that can affect, the turn times of a mortgage transaction are the.
Yeah, he picked it out for me and surprised me after my glasses broke and we had to get them fixed.
We have borrowers that are
like,
very
"Aw."
lax in getting us documentation that we
He
need.
hasn't got himself
It
a
takes
case.
2
He got
weeks
me
for
one.
to
That's
get
very
the
sweet.
funds that I need, or the source of down payment funds. We typically will ask for the last 2 months worth of bank statements, and if there are large deposits on those bank statements, the borrower may actually have to source that large deposit and actually paper trail and document that large deposit that happened within the last 60 days. And if that takes weeks and weeks for the borrower to supply, well, every single day that goes by is affecting and delaying the loan closing. So it's important that realtors understand that whole process.
It's got a fuck ton of information on it. I got to remember all this shit. Yay, I'm past 100 slides, Emily.
Now, over the years in the mortgage industry, I've seen a lot of change. When I first got into the industry, things like subprime loans did exist, but typically with large
Oh,
down
Emily,
payments.
I don't think I've ever shown you. Would you like to
and
see my
with
Amazon
actual
wish list?
qualifying
To see
for
like all the little
loans. But
outfits and
as
stuff I've been
I
looking at for when I get enough weight
proceeded
off?
into the mortgage business as my career, I started to see things get easier and easier to qualify for loans. And of course, with easier qualifications, we started to see more and more
See if I can
dangers
find the
for
damn thing.
home buyers. So once we got into the early 2000s, things like stated income loans and no doc
I will
loans,
show you.
and no income verification loans, they had all kinds of different names for them, started to become very prevalent. And I got to see a lot of people get into houses that perhaps they could not afford. And,
I think
and
that
where-
should
where
show it to you.
actually
If
they
not,
could not afford them. And
me.
I got to see the run up in that, and then I also got to see the bust that started to occur after 2006, 2007. I know we always reference 2008
I
as
may have
the year
copied that
that a lot of
wrong. Let
things
me-
went south in the real estate and mortgage industry, but really
Delete.
things really started to go that way
There.
in 2006 and 2007.
There.
I was able
That's
to
how
weather
it's supposed
that
to look like.
storm and see all of the changes
There you go.
that kind of went the other direction, where now pretty much every loan application you have to qualify quite vigorously, improve all of your income and all the information that you provide to a mortgage lender. So it went from fogged up a mirror, get a loan, to now it's almost a financial colonoscopy, if you will, in order to get a mortgage.
You will see that there's a
purchase
metric fuck ton of tea on there. That's the type of tea that I've been buying lately. It's stash tea. You can buy it in a 100-count box of each flavor you like. And then the eye pencils that I really like by NYX for eyeshadow, because my eyes are basically the only thing I put makeup on. And then there's like a mouse pad, a bunch of outfits, some lingerie, some little Lolita dresses, and a corset, and some collagen that I wanted to try eventually. And that's some Premier Protein stuff that I've never been able to try because I haven't ordered any of it yet. Oh, it doesn't need me on there.
Keep it all inside, though the thought it crossed my mind to do all the things I regret, and we don't want that. We don't want that. We don't want that. We don't want that. Yeah. Oh no. We don't want that. We don't want that. We don't want that. Oh no. I can't go on without you. I can't go on without you. Go on without you. I can't go on without
Damn it.
you.
Now, as a realtor, you're going to be asked many times, perhaps by your home buyer, whether or not certain loan documents are correct, or and it's a good thing for you to be familiar with what a loan estimate has on it, and what a closing disclosure is.
What's up,
and,
baby?
And what kind of information is on that closing disclosure.
Mommy
But
waking you up?
as a
I'm
realtor,
sorry.
You're not the one that's actually providing the financing, so. I would recommend that as a realtor, you always refer them back to their mortgage loan originator and their lender if they have specific loan questions.
Yeah, if it wasn't
It is
sparkling,
good
I'd like
for
to
you
try the
be
ice
able
ones,
to,
but I'm like,
at least be
can't try the
knowledgeable
Trulies
about
either
what's
because
on
they're
those
sparkling as well.
documents, and to be able to reassure the borrower about certain things as to whether
I did
certain
get
things are normal or not.
sun chips
but
and
always
then
recommend
some
that they consult
those
their
called?
mortgage loan originator.
Bueno bars for
you know,
honey. They're the same thing
specific
as a
loan
Kinder Egg, but they're
questions.
just made into
And
bars.
also, it's important that as a
And
realtor
then I got
that
the
you're
kids
never
some organic
disseminating
suckers
legal
that
advice
come in a
or,
big
or
old
tax
pack.
advice. I know that many of us,
And they're only 20 calories a
routinely
piece.
do deduct mortgage interest from our
And
taxes,
then I got
but,
the kids some
it's
Pringles.
very important that we're never telling
Then I got
people
little
it's a guarantee
sausage
that they're
bites.
going to be
Really
able to
good
do so,
snack.
and
Like,
always
oh my god,
refer
really
them
good snack.
to,
Let me show you
their,
real quick.
tax advisor for that type of
6 pieces of the
definitive
turkey ones is
answers
only
on
80
whether
calories.
something is deductible
8
or not.
pieces of the beef ones is like 100 and something. Let me find them real quick. I just got some of them in, so. Yeah, the suckers are called Yum Earth Organic Lollipops, and they are covered by EBT. And then the little sausage links that are also covered by EBT. Are right here. They come in turkey and beef. Let's see if there's anything else I want to show you real quick. I got V8, the little V8s energies off of Amazon too. They're covered by EBT. And then I got the Lenny and Larry's complete protein cookies. A big old pack of them. Those cookies are so good, but they got so many calories in them. Anything else? I think that was it.
Let's go.
That's about it, EBT wise. Oh, he thought it was nifty. I figured out why we got so much, by the way. The government does a lunch thing for kids for like whatever time they've missed during school. So they put it onto our EBT card instead of putting it onto the kids' little singular EBT cards for lunch. But it's okay because we got groceries for like a month and a half, so we definitely used it for what it was supposed to be used for. We didn't spend it on a bunch of junk.
The instruments discussed in this chapter are written documents.
I think I got like
Any legal form is an integral part of most real estate financing
probably
transactions.
more than 100
This
packets of
chapter
ramen.
discusses
Probably
promissory
like
notes,
200.
trust deeds,
I got like
mortgages,
50 cans of
types and
soup.
features
I
of
got
mortgages,
like
and land contracts.
50
We'll
complete
also
meals.
look at typical clauses found in those
20
documents.
what are those called? They're like teriyaki noodles. Then I got a whole bunch of chicken, a whole bunch of pot pies. Fuck ton of groceries. No, I can't help myself. Oh no, no. In the rhythm of it. No, I
All right,
can't
now let's
help
talk about some of the
myself.
financial instruments that are going to be involved with a mortgage transaction. Every mortgage is going to come with a note. The note at a mortgage closing is the promise to pay. So that has several covenants on there that basically, in general, it talks about who owes what to whom and what kind of terms those funds are to be repaid, and whether or not there are late fees and that sort of thing. So the note is the promise to pay, which is, can be an ominous document at a loan closing. It's saying that you're borrowing $200,000 and what the terms are for that transaction and what happens in cases of default and that sort of thing. Now, notes are freely transferable documents. There is an example of one in your text. But notes are actually
the last act that they signed that gave out stimulus checks also increased any EBT by like an extra $100 or something like that.
Two secondary market entities
In the
that actually
rhythm of
buy
it.
mortgage
I
notes
can't help
on the secondary market.
myself. No, I can't help
Obviously,
myself.
they
No,
also set a
no,
lot
no.
of the guidelines
I'm
for
in the rhythm
how
of it.
lending is done. In
For
the
something I can't
along
help.
with mortgage notes, the security instrument for the note is the mortgage. The mortgage itself, it is typically anywhere between 12 to 20 pages long, has a lot of covenants and a lot of different rules on.
I don't know if they'll
on
give us
them.
more during the
And
summer. That
those
might
are
have already
what,
been our summer
are
food
recorded
stamps,
at
but
the county
for the
courthouses.
little school food
And
stamp cards.
basically is what
Even if it is, like, it got used really well.
on the piece of property that's being financed. So the note is the promise to pay, and the mortgage is the security instrument that says if the note is not paid, that the house could be foreclosed on. There's a couple of different types of notes that you may encounter as a realtor. There is something called a straight note that may be an interest-only loan that at some point could have a balloon.
The rhythm of
And then you have
No,
fully
I can't
amortized
help
loans that
myself.
will,
I can't
over
help
the
myself.
term of the loan,
No,
the payments
no,
are
no.
set up to
Caught up
basically
in the
eliminate
rhythm
loan.
of it.
If there's it's a 30-year fixed
Something
loan
I
with
can't
360
help.
monthly payments
Something
that will
I
be
can't
set
help.
to actually
And I
exhaust the loan and pay it off
can't.
in full in those 360 payments. So you may deal with some
Put
of those
lotion
kind
on
of
real quick.
questions when you have a borrower that says, hey, I'm getting a first mortgage, it's a 30-year fixed mortgage, and then I'm going to do a home equity line of credit for some other portion of the purchase of their home. A lot of people like to split loans to avoid private mortgage insurance. They may get an 80% first mortgage, which would have a
Honey, did Wyatt finish
fully
cleaning like he's
amortized
supposed to and do the
note
kitty
over
litter?
360 payments, and then they may be getting a second mortgage for say 10 or 15% of the purchase price of the house that might actually be what's called a straight note or a home equity line of credit that would actually only carry interest-only payments up to a certain period of time.
There you go, baby. You need to do the kitty litter. You need to do the kitty litter. You remember how to do it? Yeah, you just use the sifter, shake it around till all the extra kitty litter comes out. You only got poop chunks left. Then you get rid of the poop chunks, and then you switch it from pad to pad and put the sifter back underneath the kitty litter and pour it back in. say, oh my God, I see you when you shine. Take my hand, my dear, and place them both in mine. You know you stopped me dead while I was passing by. I beg to see you dance just one more time. Ooh, I see you, tease you every time. Oh I like your style. You make me wanna cry. Get your dad to help you. See you dance just one more time. Say, dance for me, dance for me, dance for me, oh. Never seen anybody do those things you do before. They say, move for me, move for me, move for me, yeah, yeah. And when you're done, I'll make you do it all again. They say, oh my God, I see you walking by. Take my hands, my dear, and place me in my eyes. Just like a monkey, I've been dancing my whole life. I expect to see you dance just one more time. Ooh, I see you every time. Oh my, I like your style. You make me wanna cry. Now I beg to see you dance just one more time. They say, dance for me, dance for me, dance for me, oh. Never seen anybody do the things you do before. They say, move for me, move for me, move for me, yeah, yeah. And when you're done, I'll make you do it all again. Dance for me, dance for me, dance for me, oh, 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 oh. Never seen anybody do the things you do before.
Let's talk a little bit about short sales. You'll see in your text, you know, what a short sale is. A short sale is basically a situation where a home buyer wants to sell their home, but perhaps they owe more money on the house than what the market is bringing for that particular home. So, for example, maybe you're in a situation where you owe $250,000 on a home where home values in your neighborhood are only at $200,000. So you're $50,000 underwater. In those cases, there may be a situation where you can negotiate a short sale with the lender. In essence, what that means is that you present an offer to the lender that says, look, the borrower owes $250,000, but the market right now is only bearing $200,000. We have a buyer that is willing to purchase this house for $200,000. Will you accept that amount so that the borrower is able to get out from underneath this mortgage? And a couple of things can happen with that difference, that $250,000. Some lenders will accept the $200,000 and actually forgive the other $50,000. Some of them will agree to have the home seller actually arrange payments to pay off that additional $50,000 that's not being covered with the sale. But there is a niche here for a lot of realtors that actually specialize in short sales, that actually specialize in negotiating with lenders on short sales. We've seen a lot of this activity since 2008. It is starting to slow down a little bit now that home values are starting to stabilize, and some of them have come back up in a lot of areas of the country. But as a realtor, you may actually have to deal with short sales at some point or another in your career. Now, I will tell you, as a realtor, if you are going to be working in the short sale arena, you will find that it may be a little bit more difficult than the average real estate transaction. These discussions with lenders many times can take several weeks, if not several months, to get them to agree to a particular price on a short sale. And even once you've agreed upon terms on a short sale, you might find that at the last minute things could change, or you find that the lender all of a sudden transfers servicing to another lender and you have to start all over again. So I will caution you, if you're going to be working in the short sale arena, understand that that could be a much longer process. This could be, I've seen this take anywhere between 60 days to 6 months. I've even seen some of them take up to a year. So just know that that process could be a little bit more cumbersome, and sometimes getting to the right decision maker at a lender and getting all the right documentation that they require can be somewhat frustrating. But it is something that's out there, and it can help people get a good deal on purchasing a new home, and many times it can help a home seller get out from underneath a situation that is really straining their finances. One of the things that happens at a lot of closings when people are married, many times the spouse must come and sign certain documents, even if they are not going to be on the loan. For instance, I'm in Ohio and we have dower rights, and in order for you to close on a mortgage transaction, to refinance a house, or to close on any type of a mortgage involving real estate, a spouse has to come and at least sign what we would call dower documents, which is the truth in lending, which would be the closing disclosure. And if it's a refinance, there would be a rescission form that they would need to sign. And the mortgage itself, it has to be signed by that spouse. Now, I will tell you that many times people get confused thinking that because they are signing the dower rights and signing the mortgage, that somehow they are obligated to pay that mortgage, where that's not exactly true. The only person responsible for paying a mortgage is he or she who signs the note. The note is the promise to pay, and whoever is on the note is the one responsible for paying the mortgage. The mortgage is the document that is the security instrument that basically backs up the note that says that if the note is not repaid, that the property could be sold, to repay the loan. So you might see some of those questions at closings where there are spouses where only one of the spouses is the borrower. Most cases, both of them are on the loan, both of them are signing the note, both of them are signing the mortgage, and of course to sell a property, typically both spouses are going to be there, but there are cases where somebody is perhaps getting a divorce, or perhaps they owned a property well before they were married, and they don't understand why their spouse needs to come to closing in order for them, to sell their house. Well, unfortunately, that is just the law, and as a realtor, you may have to explain that to your borrowers.
Ooh, take my hand through the flames. I'm just a sucker for pain.
I'm a sucker for pain. I got the squad tatted on me from my neck to my ankles. The pressure from the man got us all in rebellion. We gon' go to war, yeah, without failure. Do it for the fam, dog. 10 toes down, dog. Love and
Oh, thank you for the like.
stand for. Alienated by society. All this pressure give me anxiety. Walk slow through the fire. Like who gon' try us? Feeling the world go against us. So we put the world on our shoulders. I torture you. Take my hand through the flame. I torture you. I'm a slave to your games. I wanna with my homies, it don't matter, you don't know me. I've been rolling with my team, we the illest on the scene. I've been riding around the city with my squad. I've been riding around the city with my squad. We just posted getting crazy, living like this is so amazing. Hold up, take a step back when we roll up, cause I know what we've been loyal.
Now, one of the things that you'll see in your text is referring to partial releases and that sort of thing. And as a realtor, where you might have to understand that concept. If you have a situation where there is a blanket mortgage on a property, where you have a property that's secured by a loan that is secured by multiple different properties. So let's say I own 5 houses and I have one mortgage that's covering all 5 of those houses. So all 5 of those houses are the collateral for that loan. If I decide I want to sell one of those houses that are in that blanket mortgage, it's important that we find out from the lender how much they are going to require to be paid in order to actually release, give what's called a partial release, to release that particular lien, that particular, the parcel from the lien that's covering all those 5 houses. So, for example, you might find if you have a builder that goes out and purchases 100 acres and then, has them surveyed off into, little small lots, and it, will sell each lot and build a house on each one. They might have a blanket loan for, say, $5 million for that whole 100 acres. But when they sell each and every lot, that they build a new house on, they have to actually give so much money from that particular lot in order to get to the lender to get a release, so that new home buyer has a free and clear title. So you will deal with that in many cases as a realtor to understand what type of financing you need to understand what kind of financing that the seller actually has on that particular
Is the kitty litter done?
to make sure that
Is it done properly to where the sifter's back underneath the litter?
Brought from the sale.
Everything's all back together. There's no mess, no kitty litter on the floor. Did you clean the kitty litter mat out? You need to do that too. That's the harder part. You have to take it very carefully. Just go ahead and carry it out to the trash can and then go like this and dump it. The one outside. And then just bring it back in, put it slightly under the kitty litter box exactly how I had it. Be careful not to get litter all over the floor because it does open up.
let's talk a little bit about what a bridge loan is. This is something that as a realtor you might actually encounter, and it could be an actual really great tool for the home buyer to utilize to purchase a home before their home has sold. So let's say you have a home buyer that says, well, you know, I need to sell my current home in order for me to buy this, you know, new home that I'm trying to step up to. Well, they have their current home listed, but perhaps it hasn't, you know, gone under contract yet. So what this type of mortgage allows you to do is to basically kind of bridge the equity, if you will, from the current home to the new home.
Welcome back, Emily.
Let's say you have a home buyer that
Did you put it back
in
exactly
selling
how
their
I had
current
it?
home, they're selling it
To
for
make sure there's no kitty litter on the floor?
And they owe
Did you do your homework?
$100,000 on it. And they want to use the equity that's in that home to purchase this new home over here. So what they can do is they could do a bridge loan that will actually give them some equity now, pay off their current loan for them, and give them equity from that to go ahead and make the purchase on this new home without holding any of that mortgage debt against them as far as their debt ratio on this new home that they're purchasing, and allow them to go ahead and do that transaction now before this home sells. Now, it's very important to understand that this is done typically in a situation where that home is most likely going to sell within the next 60 to 90 days, or certainly within 6 months. So what will happen is they go ahead and close on the new home, utilizing the equity from the other home, and then once this home is sold, the current home sells, all of that from the sale, the proceeds from that sale goes ahead and pays off the bridge loan, and then any other funds that are coming from that transaction can actually go ahead and be added to that other new mortgage, and then the new mortgage might actually recast that loan to reflect the new balance and so forth. But it's a great tool in order to allow someone to go ahead and purchase that new home even before their current home sells, and utilizing that equity to make the transaction work.
Hmm. What? Double check, because they said you would have assignments. They told me you would, so you need to look again. Check every single class. I said you need to double check because even your principal told me earlier that you would have assignments that you need to do. No, not Oklahoma. Oof. Yeah, your sister seems to be like the root of a lot of your problems, Emily. Yeah, I'm gonna take a bathroom break. I'll be right back. I'm back, Emily. Sorry that took so long. I was checking on Pupple up because he was whimpering, and he puked up some of the grass he ate earlier, so I think he has a tummy ache. Not sure what is causing his tummy ache, but I think he has a tummy ache.
Let's talk a little bit about construction lending. It's important as a realtor that you understand the difference between a situation where a borrower is going to need an actual construction loan and where they're going to need just simply a purchase mortgage, a purchase loan. If you have a situation where a home buyer is going to go to a home builder that's building in a neighborhood, they're building hundreds of new homes, and pretty much all they do is they say, okay, I like this lot and I want to build this type of house, and this particular model, that kind of thing. The home builder, in many cases, they're going to carry the construction cost of the house. Typically, the borrower is simply going to put down a certain amount of money on the house, and then they're going to pick out all the designs and the colors and all that sort of thing, and then the builder's going to go and build that home over the next 90 days or 6 months. Okay, and at that point, the home buyer, once the home is completed, the home buyer is really just going to come to the table with a typical normal mortgage, a purchase mortgage.
No, I'm not worried about the tea. I was worried about the Kool-Aid.
Where someone
Your dad likes
wants to
the Kool-Aid.
purchase a lot, perhaps out in the country, where there is not a builder that's building a bunch of houses in a particular neighborhood. It's just, they're buying 5 acres and they have a custom builder that is going to build a particular, model house, on that particular lot. And in that case, that home builder is not going to finance the cost of constructing that home. So in that case, the home buyer is going to actually need to get an actual construction loan, where a construction loan is one that they borrow money for actually building the house in phases. So what will happen typically in that case is the borrower will apply for the loan. The lender will typically provide in the first phase some funds to get permits and dig a foundation and that sort of thing. And then once that part is complete, the builder will submit what's called a draw request to the lender to pay for that particular work that's been done. And it's important for people to understand that the work has to be completed first before the bank actually provides any funds to pay for that work. They will typically draw funds over the usually 4 or 5, maybe even 6 different draws through the process of building the house. So what will typically happen is they'll do that first phase of building the foundation and so forth, submit a draw request to the lender. They'll send an inspector out, make sure that work has been done. Then they'll cut a check that's typically joint with the home buyer and the builder, and that will pay for that first phase of the construction of the house. Then they'll go and do the next phase, perhaps framing and that sort of thing. Once that phase is done, they'll submit a draw request. Same thing will happen, send an inspector out, and then the bank will then cut a check to pay for that particular phase. They'll typically do that, and usually, like I said, 5, maybe 6 different draws. The borrower will pay interest-only payments on that mortgage as it's being constructed. Once the home is completed, it will, and they get a certificate of occupancy. At that point, they will have to do what's called a takeout loan, or do their final end loan, if you will, where they'll actually have to pay off that construction loan with their permanent financing, which may be a 30-year fixed mortgage or a 15-year fixed mortgage, or that sort of thing. There are some construction loan products out there that are a one-time close product where the construction loan automatically converts to the end financing, their 30-year fixed mortgage or so forth. So anyway, those are the types of construction loans that you'll typically encounter. A lot of construction lending that I see done here in Ohio is usually done by local lenders, local savings and loans, and in many cases it would be a good idea as a realtor for you to be familiar with what lenders do these types of loans in your particular area.
Hello? Okay. What? Yeah, puppies can get hiccups. He could just have an upset tummy, just in general. His little tummy ain't feeling good. Say, my little tum-tum don't feel good, Wyatt. You my baby. Yeah, you feeling any better, baby? Come here. My mama feel your nose nice and cold. Good. Come here. Their noses are supposed to be cold. If it was warm, there'd be an issue. Yeah, my little nose is supposed to be cold and wet, Wyatt. Duh. Yeah, it's my little baby. It's okay. Come here. Mama's got you. I got you, baby. Yeah. Oh, now you're chewing on my nose. You must be feeling better, huh? You want down, baby? Here. Put you down in your bed. There you go. There you go, baby. Where's that one at? Okay. Back to my test.
Let's touch on land contracts just briefly. In what situations might someone decide to purchase a property on a land contract? And what is a land contract? Well, a land contract is basically a sales contract where you're purchasing a property and the seller is kind of acting as the bank on behalf of the buyer. And in some cases, you might have a home buyer that has perhaps an income situation or a credit situation where they do not qualify for a typical mortgage. So in that case, they would have difficulty being able to purchase a home. Where if you have a seller that is willing to sell the house on a land contract, that allows that home buyer to enter into that land contract and put perhaps a certain amount down, agree to terms of the sales price and certain payments over certain time periods. They could finance it on a land contract for as much as 30 years, but in many cases people will put some sort of a balloon situation where we're going to enter into the land contract, we're going to put so much money down, or we're going to pay so much money per month for a 2-year period, and then at that point the land contract needs to be paid off in full. The good thing about a land contract is that to most lenders, if you've been in a land contract for at least 12 months and you've made payments on time and it's been recorded at the courthouse and so forth, it could be treated as a refinance transaction when you go to convert it. So this can allow someone to purchase a property without the typical mortgage situation where qualifying credit-wise and down payment-wise and the like, that can actually make a transaction happen. Get perhaps a seller out from underneath a payment, and of course help a borrower, a home buyer, be able to get into a property with special situations where they might not have the credit or other issues that may be holding them back from conventional financing.
Talk to your dad. I'm busy streaming and studying.
Now, with the land contract,
I know,
the
I'm listening
buyer,
to it
even though the
slightly.
deed doesn't actually transfer until the land contract has been paid in full, the home buyer does have what's called equitable title, meaning they do have an ownership interest in the property. I've personal experience with a land contract. When I first bought my first property, was a small condo in Westchester, Ohio, and I had gone from insurance sales to mortgage sales. And I was on straight commission.
He was in here 2 seconds ago. I don't know where he's currently
the
at.
lending rules, you have to have a 2-year history of commission income, and they do a 2-year average of that income. Well, I was making plenty of money to afford the payment on this property and everything, but I did not have a 2-year history for them to take an average of. So I had purchased, I purchased that condo from a gentleman who was willing to sell it to me on a land contract. And I put 5% down, and we agreed to a 7 5/8 interest rate and over a 30-year amortization. And we put a 2-year balloon on it, which would give me enough time to have the 2-year history to be able to average my commission income. So what I ended up doing is I entered into that contract. We recorded it at the courthouse and so forth. I made payments on it for about 1.5 years or so, and then I took my recorded land contract and all my canceled checks to show that I've been making the payments on time, and took that to a small savings bank in Cincinnati, Ohio, and they actually treated that situation as a refinance transaction. So any equity that had built up in the house over the condo over that couple of year period of time, I was given credit for.
Not unless your dad wants me to.
They converted that land contract to a conventional loan. That's when we paid off the land contract. The seller got the remainder of his funds, and I then had a conventional loan. So it worked out well for me in my situation. You might have other situations where someone perhaps has an income situation like mine, or maybe they've had some credit issues or something of that nature that is holding them back of being able to qualify for a loan. Maybe they need a couple of years to be able to establish some new trade lines on their credit report and allow some, perhaps credit blemishes to kind of, fade away a little bit, and with a little time, they'll affect the home buyer less and less and be able to qualify for conventional financing. And that would be another situation where you might utilize a land contract. Now with land contracts, it's very important that the loan originator and the realtor are not going to be involved in the actual writing of the land contract. The land contract should be written by an attorney, and it should have all the proper disclosures in there. We should not even provide, I know in the past I've actually seen loan officers have boilerplate fill in the blank type of land contracts that they thought, well, we'll just be as helpful as we can to help these people get into this transaction, because they thought that, well, this is going to turn into a loan for me 2 or 3 years from now. Well, it's very important that we as loan originators and as realtors, that we're not practicing law, and that if someone does want to enter into a land contract, that they actually go to an attorney, have an attorney draw up that land contract, and make sure that it gets recorded properly at the courthouse, and that the loan officer and the realtor is not involved in that particular part of the process.
Okay.
Well, hello. That was Module 1 of Finance. Let's talk about what we might need to remember. Just know that housing has cycles. They're up and they're down. They're new and they're old. They're regentrified and they're old. So continual up and down cycles on housing. Know that the Federal Reserve oversees the economy in the country. They look and see if there's an area that needs an injection of money or a lowering of interest rates. They try to moderate a good economy in our country, the Federal Reserve. Know that discount rates those are rates charged by the Federal Reserve to commercial banks. Know what the ECOA is, the Equal Credit Opportunity Act. They have all 7 protected classes with them: race, color, religion, sex, national origin, disability, and familial status. However, the government imposed 3 more on them as a result of discrimination. One being marital status, one being age, and receipt of public assistance. So the Equal Credit Opportunity Act. Remember, age is not a federally protected class, but it is with the ECOA. When it comes to a mortgage, banks don't give us a mortgage. We as people give a bank a mortgage. A bank gives us a note, and the mortgage is just the lien against the note. So remember that. Don't forget about the finance clauses. We talked about those earlier in Principles and Practices. There's a defeasance clause. There's an acceleration clause. There's an alienation clause. And if somebody alienates themselves from the original mortgage agreement, it might cause them to enact the acceleration clause, which says they want all the money back that they lent somebody. And don't forget the defeasance clause is you defeated it. You defeated the mortgage. On your last mortgage payment, they'll issue a defeasance clause where you defeated the mortgage. Now, remember, there's a first mortgage and there's a second mortgage. Now, a second mortgage is not to be confused with the secondary mortgage market. 2 totally different things. So there's a first mortgage and a second mortgage. Maybe a second mortgage, you want to build a pool, and you wanted to go to a different lender, and so you took a second mortgage out to build a pool. So there's a first and a second on that property. Don't forget, when you see purchase money mortgage, I want that to ring a bell in your head that you know there's no bank involved. A purchase mortgage, a purchase money mortgage has no bank involved. For example, if you wanted to buy my house and you didn't have a good credit rating, couldn't get a mortgage, but I want to sell my house to you, I can actually lend you the money to buy my house. You'll sign a mortgage and give it back to me. And by the way, the difference between a purchase money mortgage and a land contract is the day we close on the purchase money mortgage, which remember, that's where I'm lending you the money to buy my house. The day we close, you get full deed and title that day, as opposed to a land contract. A land contract, the seller would not give up full deed and title to a buyer until the term was completed and the entire balloon was made on the land contract. Remember what a reverse mortgage is. That's where the bank pays you. I want you to remember what interest-only loans are. I want you to also know what land contracts are.
Oh, I need my calculator. Okay, we have 230,000 times 0.045. No. So how did I do that wrong? Yeah, I second guessed myself. Okay, so this one requires more math.
Don't tell me that I'm wrong. I've walked that road before and left you on your
Okay.
own. And please believe them when they say that it's left for yesterday. And the records that I play, please forgive me for all I've done. So
Now that all makes sense.
when the days are cold and the cards all fold and the saints we see are all made of gold, when your dreams all fail and the wounds we
I'll have to figure out why that one's wrong later.
worst of all, and the bloods run stale. I wanna hide the truth, I wanna shelter you, but with the beast inside, there's nowhere
God damn it.
we can hide. No matter what we breed, we still are made of greed. This is my kingdom come, this is my kingdom come. When you pull my
Damn it.
look into my eyes, it's where my demons hide. It's where my demons hide. Don't get too close, it's dark inside. It's where my demons hide. It's where my demons hide. Curtains call, it's the last of all. When the lights fade out, all the sinners crawl. So they dug your grave and the masquerade will come calling out at the mess you've made. Don't wanna let you down, but I am
Fuck.
hellbound. Oh, this is all for you. Don't wanna hide the truth. No matter what we breed, we still are made of greed. This is my kingdom come. This is my kingdom come. When you pull my key, look into my eyes. It's where my demons hide. It's where my
Shit.
demons hide. Don't get too close. It's dark inside. It's where my demons hide. It's where my demons hide. They say it's what you make. I say it's up to fate. It's woven in my soul. I need to let you go. Your eyes, they shine so bright. I wanna save that light. I can't escape this now unless you show me how. When you pull my key, look into my eyes. It's where my demons hide. It's where my demons hide. Don't get too close. It's dark inside. It's where my demons hide. It's where my demons hide.
There we go. Took me a second to actually pass the damn thing. Okay, this next one has only 133. I'm saying only because it's way less than the other one that I just did. It's not bad at all. First 10 slides or so is just basically mumbo jumbo about if you have problems, contact this person. And rules and regulations about how you have to do the work yourself.
This chapter discusses some of the major and minor participants in the real estate lending market. The major participants in the primary market include commercial banks, savings and loans, and mortgage companies. Other sources for various types of real estate lending are also discussed, including commercial lenders and private lending. A discussion on subprime lending explores predatory lending practices. Finally, the secondary markets, their purpose and function, and major participants are reviewed.
Rock bottom. Rock bottom, rock bottom, rock bottom. I'm going back to my roots.
Had to lose my way to know which road to paint. Trouble found me. All I looked for was washed away by your way. I'm going back to my roots. Another day, another door, another high, another low.
Rock bottom, rock bottom, rock bottom.
I'm going back to my roots. Another day, another door, another high, another low.
Rock bottom, rock bottom.
I'm going back to my
Now let's talk a little bit about mortgage bankers and mortgage brokers and a little bit of the difference between the two. A mortgage banker is a mortgage company that is going to lend money from their own funds and then sell those mortgages and transfer the servicing to other servicers and other lenders. And of course, they'll make a fee for selling the paper or the loan to another entity or transferring the servicing to another entity. So typically, a banker is going to actually be doing the underwriting. They'll do the application, they'll do the underwriting and everything from start to finish. And then once the loan is closed, they'll close it in their name, and then, like I said, transfer it or sell the loan. A mortgage broker, on the other hand, is a company or individual that is actually going to be set up with multiple lenders, and what they do is they actually get paid to arrange loans
Couldn't cut it as a poor
between
man
borrowers
stealing.
and different
Tired of
lenders
living like a blind
for a
man.
fee. And
I
those
have a
loans will
sense of
typically be
feeling,
underwritten by
and
those
this is
particular
how
lenders, and they'll actually be
remind
closed
me.
in those particular lenders' names and perhaps even
This is
serviced by
how
those
you
lenders, where the
remind
broker
me
themselves
of
are
what
just
I really
involved
am.
in the origination
This is how
and
you remind
and pretty much the
what
processing.
I
And
really
once it gets
am.
to closing
Not
and
like
everything, that closing is going to be done in the name of that other lender, with the broker just being paid a broker fee for their service. Now, as a realtor, when you get a pre-approval letter from a mortgage bank or a mortgage banker or a mortgage broker, in some cases in the past, some realtors have had some bad experiences with some brokers providing pre-approval letters that perhaps were not actual approvals, where they just said, it looks good, and didn't actually have the approval. But I will tell you that, a banker and a broker both can do a great job as far as helping a borrower with financing. The mortgage banker may only have the ability to do certain types of loans, where a broker may have access to many different types of lenders, especially if your borrower has a specific kind of challenge with credit, perhaps, or maybe some other special circumstance that might make it more challenging for them to get a long-range conventional loan. Mortgage brokers aren't all bad, and most of them these days are are certainly well-educated and licensed and do a very good job as far as helping borrowers obtain good quality loans for their specific situation, especially when they have unique situations.
Yeah, 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 no, yeah, 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 no, no. There's a punishment, couldn't cut as a woman's feeling. This is how you remind me. This is how you remind me. This is how you remind me of what I really am. This is how you remind me of what I really am. Not like you say sorry. I was written on a different story. This time I'm mistaken. For you a heart worth breaking. And I've been wrong. I've been down to the bottom of every bottle. These 5 words in my head scream out, we haven't gone yet. Yeah, yeah. Oh, we haven't gone yet. Must grab protein chick. Ugh. Ow, my back. Ow. Ow. Back did not like that.
We're broken people now. We're burning out. So cold and bleeding now, now. Gonna let you down.
Now, with a mortgage broker, they many times can help borrowers that have special situations, like maybe they have some bruised credit, and even though FHA and a lot of other lending programs have pretty specified guidelines, there are some lenders that put their own overlays over and above the qualifying guidelines of, say, FHA loans or even certain conventional loans. And where a broker may be able to be set up with multiple lenders that might have more lenient guidelines or go more directly to the guidelines or follow more directly the guidelines of FHA and other lending programs. So, for example, I've seen some FHA lenders that will not go below a 620 credit score on their FHA loans because they fear of being able to get the loan insured properly. Now, FHA clearly states in their guidelines that you can do loans all the way down well into the 500s as far as credit scores are concerned. So there are some lenders out there that will certainly go all the way down to that standard, to go down into the 500s, and there are others that say, nope, we have a cutoff at 640 or 620, and that's where sometimes working with a broker that has the ability to have access to all the different types of loan programs could be beneficial to your borrower. You also may have situations where there could be certain lenders or certain borrowers that have perhaps an income situation that will not allow them to get a mainstream conventional loan, but the broker might have a program that will perhaps use bank statements to average out their monthly income and things of that nature. So there's a lot of different resources out there to help people get into homes, and it's important for you to understand who does what. Mortgage bankers might do certain things, mortgage brokers could do certain other things. You might have your normal conventional banks that do a lot of construction lending and that sort of thing. You also have portfolio lenders like certain credit unions and certain other small savings banks that will lend from their portfolio and actually do loans that they do not plan to sell on the secondary market. If they don't have to sell that loan to Fannie Mae or Freddie Mac, that means that they can, as long as they're not doing irresponsible lending, they still have regulators that they need to please and the like, but maybe they can do loans on certain types of properties, like unique properties like log cabins or berm homes that are built into the side of a hill or that sort of thing that might not be able to qualify for typical FHA and conventional loan guidelines. So a portfolio lender would be able to do a loan that's kind of outside the normal guidelines. So it's good to know the different types of lenders and who can do what. I think as a realtor, it's a very good practice for you to have relationships with multiple lenders in your area because different lenders do different things, and you're going to have home buyers that have different needs. So it's very important as a realtor that you have some relationships with some of the local bankers, perhaps some of the local mortgage brokers that have access to more loan programs that maybe some of the local lenders won't do. I think it's important for you to have some relationships with perhaps some local credit unions. Credit unions are typically a portfolio lender where they can actually do loans and keep them on their books without having to necessarily worry about secondary market guidelines and conforming to those guidelines on the secondary market. So when you have someone that has a story, if you will, to tell, where they had some credit issues about 3 or 4 years ago and their credit scores aren't exactly where they need to be, but they're really in a stable situation and they've got the income and they have a good story and they've got a reason for why those things happened. A credit union or a portfolio lender could listen to that story.
You want to change some of the things in the 7 days to die server file first.
Since they don't have to sell it on the secondary market.
Yeah, a few of the things you're going to want to change.
They perhaps could help you.
Let me help you. I'll go ahead and end my stream for now.
Some of the different lenders in your area, know what they can and can't